bit. Don't you understand what you're doing to this tree? You're compacting the soil.
Just hanging out.
Soil compaction is one of the biggest problems in an urban environment. When you compact the soil, it has a very negative effect on this tree's life.
Yeah, right.
In this documentary...
Nancy, wait. I'm on camera? In that case, hello, ladies.
As I was saying, in this documentary, we're going to be teaching you the causes, effects, and cures for soil compaction so that you can make a difference. Now I'm going to be explaining the effects of soil compaction to you.
Not again.
Get back here. Okay, when soil is compacted, it affects the roots growth, and the roots cannot get as far down, and they can't grow, so they can't extend to the life-giving nutrients and minerals that plants need to stay alive. So that will inevitably result in the plant's death. Can't you see that? One of the effects of soil compaction is the roots can't push through to get the minerals and nutrients they need. Every time you step on the soil, you are disrupting the biggest ecosystem known to mankind. When the soil is compacted, water can't get down to the roots, but it also can't get down to the hundreds of trillions of other organisms that depend on water being able to seep through. In addition, it doesn't allow vital gases like oxygen, carbon, and other things to get into the ecosystem. You may not know it, but there's a lot of gas in the soil. You also may not know that plants' roots also need these gases to live, as well as all organisms, microbes included, need all sorts of gases to live and thrive in their ecosystem. Their soil will crush the roots, and which will make it hard for the roots to intake the small amounts of nutrients, minerals, gas, and water they do find. The topsoil is the most productive layer, but is also the most affected and compacted. This has the most effect on the ecosystem, since the topsoil produces the most life-giving nutrients to the plants. You may not realize it, but there's a whole ecosystem down there that needs...
Wait! What is an ecosystem?
Ecosystem is a group of organisms that have a mutually beneficial relationship in a certain environment.
Okay. Just let me go!
And think about it this way. What if there's a baby buried under the ground, and that baby is depending on water and air getting down to the baby, and it's depending on that soil staying loose so the baby does not get crushed. And if the baby gets crushed, it's gonna be a little ball. If the baby's in a little ball, the baby's dead. And also, if it can't get the water, the baby's gonna die. So what am I trying to do? I'm trying to save lives. What are you doing? You're killing babies.
If you see a tree pit with these characteristics such as clay, hardness, poor plant growth, and a bright color, that means the soil is compacted, which is very bad for the tree.
So, are there like any cures for this?
Yes, fortunately, there are many cures. One way to help the soil is to create Mediterranean mounds. This is when you add a very good drainage soil to create an 18-inch pile or mound. And this way, it increases the opportunities for the plants and microorganisms to reach beyond the new soil into the compacted soil. Another way to help compacted soil is to create pores. To do this, you need a screwdriver or a tool that is similar, which you can use to drive into the compacted soil. This increases the amount of water and oxygen available to the plant. Also, you can incorporate organic material such as compost or manure. To make this remedy work, it has to be incorporated in a reasonable depth, such as 1 foot. Also, the compost or other organic material should be in a fully blended state. This is one of the most useful cures for soil compaction. Unseen to the human eye are many microorganisms at work to help the soil. These are very critical to the vitality of the soil. In a compacted soil, there are very few microorganisms, so to help this, you can mix a potent concoction of microorganisms and water. Then you can spray this on your tree pit to help the other microorganisms. This is called soil inoculant. Lastly, you can install a thick layer of tree bark or mulch, which will eventually break down and add to the health of the soil.
Okay, I got it. There are many cures for soil compaction. Jeez.
So you'll never step on a tree pit again, correct? I try.
The following day, I started to think about what those two weirdos had been telling me. Soil compaction, or whatever it's called, had really stuck to me. The thing is, they had told me how it affects a tree. They had told me the cures. But they hadn't told me one thing. Why does this thing happen? I mean, why? 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 So I decided to look up soil compaction on the internet. And I found, this article. Here we go. There are many causes for soil compaction. Some are obvious and others you probably wouldn't think of. The most obvious cause would be animals and humans, aka middle schoolers usually, stepping around the base of a tree until the soil becomes, compacted. Heavy machinery and parked cars could also weigh down the soil and cause it to compact. But there are other causes. One of them would be snow. The weight of a heavy snowfall can compress the soil and have the same effect as someone treading on it. Rainfall is another cause you might not be thinking of, but the power of rain hitting the soil can also compact it. A freeze can also compact the soil. The most bizarre one would be pigeons. Their weight could weigh down the soil and pretty much do the same effect as somebody stepping on it. So yeah, I found the causes of soil compaction, and I'm happy. Yay!
All in all, I have learned many things through this documentary, but the biggest thing I have learned is about myself. I'm not a juvenile delinquent. I'm a tree hugger!
Today, here at MS51,
We will be doing a drainage test to test the soil.
fill with water and allow it to drain completely. Immediately refill the pit and measure the depth of the water with a ruler. I'd say 3.5.
Okay.
Around 3.5 inches.
Now we wait.
15 minutes later, measure the drop in water in inches and multiply by 4 to calculate how much water drains in an hour.
It is.
I'd say like 2.25.
3.5.
And now it's at around 2.25. So that's 15 minutes, and that's 1.25.
More than an inch.
Less than 1 inch per hour is poor drainage, indicating the site may stay wet for periods during the year.
Plants that don't tolerate poor drainage will suffer. 1 to 6 inches of draining per hour is desirable. Soil that drains faster than 6 inches per hour have excessive drainage, and you should consider using plants that like dry conditions or droughty soil.
You have to multiply it by 4.
Oh, right. So 1 times 4 is 4. That's 4 inches per hour. So it's desirable.
Yeah, 1 to 6 inches per hour is desirable.
Yeah. So 4 inches per hour is desirable.
Soil compaction!
Just don't do it. Hope you enjoyed the documentary. If you want to learn more, please contact us at 000-000. My dog peed on a tree. Stop, Scruffy!